Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Smriti Malhotra. I represent an organization named Denave India Private Limited. Denave is an sales enablement management consulting firm. So we are the preferred partners for top IT companies for their sales enablement and for the revenue generation. I'm heading the global HRD for Denave India Private Limited. We have span in India as well as we've spread out in terms of our presence in UK as well as Singapore and Malaysia. So today, I thank you first of all, the organizers for the opportunity. So I feel very happy to be sharing my thoughts around, how the workplace dynamics are changing, how do we prepare for the future, and in fact, I would like to make it an interactive sessions rather than just one-way communication to you. So the topic itself is pretty interesting. As we have heard, it is preparing for the future, and of course, the changing role of HR in this future, which is constantly changing. There are dynamic changes that are happening in the ecosystem. A change at the workplace has also accelerated at the lightning pace. It is the dynamics at the workplace are changing really fast. We've witnessed that growth in the past few years. It is going to become multifold in the coming years as well. With the industry, poised at such a change, with the change the way we are working, change the way we are utilizing capability, talent at the workplaces. And my, the lady, Monica, in the previous session, she also shared about the artificial intelligence, chatbots and all that. We really need to look at that, what is it there for the HR professionals for the future? What are the expectations from HR professionals, and what are the changing roles for HR? So if we look at the key drivers for the change, I'll just take this mic, please. Hello. 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 Yeah, this is better. Yeah, so if we look at the key drivers for the change, technology is one of the biggest driver of the change that is happening in the ecosystem in the professional arena. The second one, if we look at it, is digitization. So everybody is glued on to digitization. That is making a lot of change in the working arena for all the organizations. The third one is innovation. Every second day, some innovation or the other is happening, which is either making the job for all of us pretty easy and at times bringing its own challenges as well. When we talk about technology, when we talk about digitization, when we talk about innovation, it is entirely up to us how we utilize it, whether we utilize it as a boon or does it come across as a bane. Global mobility is another aspect wherein the geographies are merging really fast. The talent is moving around, is pretty much global. That is adding on to the diversity at the organizations. In total, when we look at the key drivers of the change, it is definitely impacting the workplaces as well, and it is impacting the workplaces in a big way. With this impact and change, of course, the expectations from the human resource professionals and human resource as a function is also undergoing a lot of change. How do HR professionals mitigate the risk, and how do HR professionals evolve really fast to manage this change and to leverage from this change is something that we will discuss. As I said, impact on human resource, the key drivers of change which are impacting the global economy, the complete workforce, the working environment, there's certain impact on the human resource function as well. Automation and digitization in human resource function is something that we all are aware of. The key changes which are happening in the economy, we're talking about gig economy nowadays, so there's a lot of changes that definitely has impacted the automation, and digitization has resulted in that in the field of human resource as well. Information access and control. If you remember the days when we used to have such big documents of all the HR policies, processes, and it was limited most of the time only for the HR professionals preview or review. Nowadays, the information access to the workforce is huge. It is in terms of the social platforms, it is in terms of the transparency that the organizations have started to keep, the access to information, and the controls are diminishing. So the control that HR function used to have, the lines are becoming very, very thin. Networking and social platforms. That's another area which is, when we talk about the workforce in today's time, it is a workforce, it's a very, very diverse workforce. As I said, that geographies are not the limitations anymore. A lot of organizations are working on gender diversity. There's a lot of work that is happening over there. Apart from that, the cultural diversity has increased. And it has also increased the networking and social platforms, especially with millennials coming up. Millennials are completely into social networking, and the social platforms are the platforms that they're using the most. So it becomes very, very important for HR to understand the nuances and see how they can leverage from this rather than, getting the negative impact, or rather than getting negatively impacted with this. Virtual workplace and cultural shift. Remember the shifts of 9 to 5? Initially, it used to be 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 kind of work shift. Very stringent hours of lunch break or maybe tea break and back to work. Then it moved to the 24/7 kind of work environment. And now even that's going away. So we have, when we talk about chatbots, when we talk about virtual reality, then literally the kind of cultural shift it's kind of having on the organizations is really, really amazing. Nowadays, we all are working for the organizations and we are representing flexibility is a norm. Flexibility is a benefit that you would always look forward to in your potential employer. Even to the extent that people nowadays, it's no longer work-life balance, it has become more of work-life integration. I remember during my Barclays days, near about 6 years back, we were having this conference for HR folks. And we all were thinking about innovation and the wish list that you could have. So it was around 6 or 7 years back. One of the persons who was representing Singapore region came up and said that I would want a flexibility wherein I could be sitting on a beach and I could be doing my work. And that has become a reality these days. Globalization and diversity, as I said, that diversity is something that is there on the agenda for each and every professional, HR professional these days. There's a lot of investment that is happening to cater to diversity, and it definitely not only brings along the talent, diverse talent, it also offers an opportunity to be more sensitive and drive certain behaviors that we want within the organization. Gig economy and skill set. As I said, when we talk about gig economy, it is like the focus is going to be on the skill set, and contingent workforce is something that a lot of, I would say, research industries, they are portraying that in the coming days, even 9 to 5 shift is going to go away. The concept of permanent employees is going to diminish, and it is going to be higher for the skill set, and it is going to be contract-based job, entirely dependent on the skill set which is required. So there would be a time in the coming times when it's going to be completely contingent workforce who's going to work in your organization. The ability for the CHROs to peep into the future and become ready will be the mantra for the key success to manage this change, not only at the workplace, but within the function of human resource as well. So when we talk about it, definitely HR needs to evolve the role. HR needs to scale up to manage this change. And there are certain key aspects in the human resource function which will be impacted. Most important, change management. HR has to become not only the custodian, but also the change champion within the organization. Monica, you were saying we were talking about artificial intelligence and chatbots. I believe when we talk about chatbots, artificial intelligence, it can definitely help us a lot. It can streamline a lot of processes, but at the end of the day, there's something that still becomes very, very difficult to understand and comprehend is human behaviors. So human behaviors, as long as we have workplaces, irrespective of how many chatbots come or artificial intelligence comes or automation happens, we will still need humans to keep evolving that artificial intelligence and the bots as well, isn't it? So in that case, it is very important that the human behaviors within the organizations are dealt appropriately. I guess that is something that till date we don't have a perfect formula to say or to predict human behavior. Right now, irrespective of the kind of behavioral assessments that we have, it still says that it gives the indicative result, right? So it is still a very, very complex area to be dealt with. So when we talk about the change management, as I said, HR has to own up this piece. Because change management is a slow process, that is one. Secondly, the change management doesn't happen through directives, it happens through influencing. So HR has to act as a change champion, has to act as a influencer to bring the desired change within the workplace. Second is business partner. If you remember, some time back, the job of HR function was only the administrative task, and I don't think they did hold, HR professionals held the position at the boardroom tables. A lot has changed ever since. But still, you know, the expectation from HR is to add value, to partner with the business, and to contribute to the P&L of the organization, create that value impact, you know, to the profitability of the organization. So that still continues. Employee engagement, a very, very important area. When we talk of employee engagement, many a times we tend to kind of confuse this with employee value proposition. Employee value proposition could come in terms of tangible or non-tangible benefits that the organization provides to the employee. Definitely, it holds a lot of importance to create that employee engagement with the employee, but employee engagement is the emotional connect that an employee has with the organization. It is basically when you want to partner, when you want to create that difference, when you want to value add, and when you take that accountability to make a difference in the organization's vision and mission. That is what employee engagement is all about. It is much beyond the employee value proposition. It is the emotional connect. It takes time to build that connect, but simultaneously, once the connect is formed, then it becomes very difficult for the employee to cut that umbilical cord with the organization. When I talk of it, any one of you, when we talk about employee engagement, any one of you could share the experience of your recent organization or the previous past organizations wherein you felt that connect. Anybody? I'm sure most of you must have worked with a lot of organization, anywhere wherein you felt that connect with the organization and it was difficult for you to cut that umbilical cord. Anybody?
I was working with Accenture about 3 years back. My stint there was about 3 years. That is in Gurgaon, and I was putting up in Noida. So, for work-life balance and also some medical issues, I was looking for something in Noida. But actually, when I was looking out for options, the kind of flexibility, the kind of engagement Accenture has provided, the growth opportunities, it was so very difficult for me to actually take, like Smriti mentioned, to cut that umbilical cord and move out. So yeah, that has been very, very, given an option, I would still want to go back if I would have been staying in Gurgaon. So yeah, that's the kind of engagement the company offered.
Thank you, Ankita. Anybody else? Yeah, so we have.
So with my present company, basically at Women's Day, we celebrated Women's Day in our organization, and we basically privileged all the female staff with a day, basically where they can watch movie. So we basically gifted, basically we send them in this voucher for movie tickets, basically for to all the locations, and that was a surprise to them. So when they received the tickets on their mails, and they were really happy, and they were really thankful for a day, basically, and they said that it's just a wonderful surprise because we don't get a chance with the fam to spend time with each other, as an employee. So that was really touching for us, and we thought that we'll continue doing it for basically for all the staff people, and surprise them with we should surprise them basically for a day.
Thank you so much. That's so good because, when we talk about employee engagement and when we talk about the emotional connect, it is basically not the mundane tasks or the routine benefits that the employee gets. It is one gesture that stays with you for a long, long time. We had somebody from this side also. If somebody could pass on the mic, please. Thank you.
Well, this is about an organization I worked about 15 years back. So this, though I worked with some of the best hotel chains, right from Intercontinental to Hilton to Best Western to Park Hotels, this is one experience I can never forget because it was fantastic. It's a company called Jumeirah International in Dubai, which has the Burj Al Arab, right? And this was in my initial stint in my career. And when I landed there and I realized that I'm in a world community with 56 nationalities working together, 56. The kind of accommodation they give with the rooftop pool and with the jacuzzi, spa, everything was there. And that is just, when you get into your career, 4 or 5 years into your career, and they had a fantastic, it was not only a slogan, but it has like one for all and all for one. That was the kind of motto. And later part, when I started reading about the Google campus, then I realized, I said, yeah, what we got was much better than even the Google campus. He got cash on arrival in Dubai, a week's leave to settle down. We had facilities which was like a 5-star hotel, right? We had facilities to stay in any property at 10%. Okay, so as roommates, we used to stay in Burj Al Arab, where people pay 3,000 dirhams at that time, right? We've been to Emirate Towers Hotel. And the kind of facilities, and they had parties for 5,000 people together. Can you imagine 5,000 people together and in the Oasis village? And everything was there. When you just name it, it is there, right? And then I got, my role, I had dual role, means first was into guest relations. Later on, I became the quality administrator for the group. Uh, it was amazing because the kind of clientele you were meeting was fantastic. I met Shikha Sharma from ICICI at that time.
In the interest of time, I
Sorry,
have
too long.
to please
Sorry,
wrap
it's
up.
a long story. So, fantastic. What I say is some organizations do everything that you don't find any excuses or any faults, whether HR policy, whether it's training, whether so I think that's one organization I can still say, wow, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So that means it's the employee experience that really matters to build that connect with the employees. Last but not the least is operational excellence. That is equally important, and that is going to be the key priority for human resource function in the coming times. Moving on to the emerging role of HR, what all are going to be the important points during the employee life cycle? I'll quickly take you through that. Of course, partner with business, wherein understand business nuances and collaborate without building any walls. Second is redefine org architecture. You have to align HR framework as well as the distributed leadership should be there. The empowerment should exist at every level for the success. You have to become the change agent. As I said, one needs to institutionalize the center of excellence for change management within the organization, as well as champion the execution. Putting the strategy is very important, but it is absolutely zero without successful, seamless execution. Manage the ecosystem wherein you need to practice agility. You have to be open to the changes that come across and transform the organization and priorities accordingly. Foster innovation. Leverage technology, again, very important, wherein the role of HR becomes very, very important to get that acceptance, not only within the team at the senior level, but also from the employees, wherein you have the real-time data-driven decision-making in your organization. Diversity and inclusion, we've spoken about it, to have the global outlook and put some compliance mechanism in place so that your agenda does not get diluted. Experiential learning is very, very important. Everybody must have heard about 70-20-30 model, wherein people end up learning the most on the job opportunities rather than the classroom. And the second most important part is coaching, and feedback is another area wherein you get to learn a lot. Capability building is wherein it will be very, very important in the coming times to attract as well as retain the right talent. Very important, and most of the organizations, they're facing a lot of challenge with this. Typically, if I talk about technology, every second day we keep hearing people moving from one organization to another organization these days. So it is imperative for HR to create that competency pipeline within the organization for business continuity management, as well as have the skill set repository. Automating the HR processes is very important, I was completely with Monica when we say that we have the data-driven decision-making. When we automate the processes, and the people analytics play a huge role in creating and deciding onto your human resource strategy. Moving on, when we talk about the employee engagement pillars, I'll need to take 2 or 3 more minutes, please. Would like to finish. Yeah, so I'll quickly run you through it. When we talk about employee engagement pillars, one is intellectual engagement, wherein you offer the platforms for creativity and innovation and mind stimulation to your employees. The second one is sense of camaraderie. So that is the sense of brotherhood that you would create within the organization that really, really engages the employee. Emotional engagement is when the person starts taking the pride in his work as well as the organization. Loyalty and sense of accountability comes with the experiential engagement. Very quickly, the last 3 slides, because I have a lot of pressure to complete it really fast. So I would say that, when you sit down and when you start putting together your human resource strategy for the coming times, for the VUCA world, for the gig economy, please retrospect that what was it in the past. It really helps to retrospect. Then the next is introspect the current situation. Last but not the least, I leave your thoughts with that you should prospect. So these are the 3 approaches which will really help you to put your strategy together, the right strategy, and manage the future in a much more better way, and I would say in a much more planned way. So with that, I would like to open the house for any questions, if they are there.
Okay, we are running short of the time. We will not be able to take any questions right now. However, audience can write their questions in the slip of paper, and we'll ensure that Smriti is replying back to you towards the end of the session or wherever I can have the filler. In the meanwhile, may I request Mr. Abbas to set up his system. And if you have any questions, please write down your questions and give it to me. I'll ensure that all these questions are replied back.
Thank you so much, all. Thank you.
Thank you, Smriti.
Role. How is HR leveraging marketing function to reinvent itself intrinsically and extrinsically? So HR, of course, has moved as a strategic function, and how HR is leveraging marketing is completely for employer branding. So that is one aspect wherein marketing function makes a lot of contribution to ensure that employer branding agenda is taken forward to re-establish the credibility of the organization. It is a joint effort in the organizations to drive the agenda of employer branding. So that is one. When we say intrinsically and extrinsically, yes. Another aspect is internal communication platforms, wherein marketing division drives the agenda of the adequate communication, building the transparency, building the communication by the internal communication platforms, and also taking it forward on social media. About the organization, this role is being taken up by the marketing division in most of the organizations, wherein they have their social media policy and they take the charter for employer branding for HR forward for the external social media platforms as well. So does that answer your question? Who asked the question?
Shumali has asked the question.
Yeah, does that answer? Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to India's first corporate news channel. We invite interviews, articles, press releases from your organization. Visit our portal www.indianconventions.com. Thank you.